All right, hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're really focusing in on something special. If you're here, you probably already know a bit about Faiz Ahmed Faiz, but today we're going to go deep, like really deep. Faiz, as I'm sure you know, was this incredible Urdu poet, revolutionary, but also romantic. We're going to dig into how those two sides of his poetry work together.
Yeah, that's really what makes him so fascinating. So first, let's set the scene.
Okay, so backdrop.
Right, backdrop. Faiz lived through some seriously intense times, and I don't just mean personally. I mean, politically, socially. He was born in 1911, died in 1984. Right in that period, you've got British India, then partition. It was tumultuous, to say the least.
So much change happening.
Oh, absolutely. And Faiz, he was right in the thick of it. He believed so strongly in freedom, justice, equality. He became a leading voice in the progressive writers movement, actually ended up in prison for his activism, multiple times, in fact.
Wow, that's got to weigh on you. Can you even imagine trying to write beautiful poetry while dealing with all that?
You would think it'd be impossible, but actually it's like those experiences fueled his writing, gave it this rawness, this urgency. Take his poem Speak, for example. It opens with the line, "Speak, for your lips are free." Powerful, right?
Yeah, really powerful. But this was written while he was imprisoned.
It was. And that context, it adds this whole other layer to the poem. He's not just talking about literal speech, is he? It's this metaphor for resistance, for raising your voice, even when it feels like the world is trying to silence you.
So it's like a personal struggle that becomes this, I don't know, like a universal anthem.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of Faiz as a revolutionary romantic comes in. We're not just talking about love poems here. We're talking about a love for humanity, for justice, for freedom.
Okay, so I'm with you so far, but I need a bit more to really grasp how those two ideas come together. How about an example from his poetry?
All right, let's take these lines. Last night, your memory brushed against mine like the touch of a flower leaving its fragrance on my hands.
Okay, pretty.
Yeah.
Very romantic. Getting strong imagery of nature there.
Right. But look closer. That fragrance, it lingers. It could be a memory of love, sure. But it could also represent the lasting impact of fighting for a better world, even when times are tough. Like the memory of shared struggles, the dream of something more.
Ah, okay, so like even though there's pain and hardship in the fight for justice, the hope, the love, it remains beautiful.
Right. And Faiz does this constantly. He layers meaning into his poetry, using metaphors and imagery that work on multiple levels. That's part of what makes him so powerful.
And I imagine this is what resonated so much with people back then, right?
Absolutely. Imagine living through partition. Everything's in chaos. The future's uncertain. Then you hear these poems, these words speaking to your pain, your hope, your longing for a just world. Faiz was giving people a voice, a way to express what they were feeling.
It's like he's turning individual experiences into this collective fight for change. That's amazing.
It is, and it's not just back then. Faiz's poetry still resonates today. People still find comfort, inspiration, even a call to action in his words. That's the power of art, right?
It really makes you think. This has been such an interesting exploration of Faiz Ahmed Faiz.
Indeed, his work really reminds us that revolution and romanticism, they're not so different after all. Both are driven by passion, by hope, by a belief in something better. It leaves you wondering, what art today is doing that same thing? Where do we see those ideas merging to push for positive change in the world?
That's a great question. And it's something I hope everyone listening keeps thinking about long after this deep dive ends. Thanks for taking us on this journey. Until next time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.